fire. Dun, dun, dun. I send you to burn. Saved. Fire saved. Welcome back, everybody, to another Let's Play Mac with me, Cleaver Slips, and we're back in the world of SimCity, where, I'll be honest, there is not really a lot happening right now in the game. So, you know, there's things working, you know. I've just added a school of science to my university. But other than that, other than making money and getting to a point that we can afford to spend some stuff and maybe like turn this into a tourist town with some attractions and some gambling, there's not really a lot we can do. So instead, this episode's going to be a bit of a different episode where instead of... Sorry, I just had a really paranoid thing that my mic was on mute. It's not, but you know. Yeah, but instead of ooh, what have you got a thing there? Oh, you need expanding, do you? Well, you're done, so no. Yeah, instead of sort of doing things in the game, I'm more going to kind of tour around the game and have a little discussion with you. You, my faithful subscriber. And at the present, I can say all 37 of you. Hello, 37 of you. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channels, for one thing. It really, really does mean a lot. I know you hear a lot of YouTubers say how much subscribers mean to them. But it really, really does, because I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of months, and partly sort of wanting to play SimCity and do a Let's Play SimCity was because of that, and that was inspired by my favourite YouTuber, BOO. BOO has obviously since got bored of this game, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in a minute. And he has 500,000 subscribers, so I can't imagine the craziness that goes on with his YouTube channel, especially now that the comment system's changed. But the fact that I am creating video content and people are viewing it, and I can tell because I can read the Google Analytics. I know where you're viewing from. You're viewing from USA, Canada, Japan, the UK, Russia, Bulgaria. Somebody's looked at. There's so many people from random countries all around the world that I never thought would, even if they've just watched me for a couple of seconds, but have still clicked on a video of me playing SimCity and listened to my voice yabbering about what I'm doing in this game, and me enjoying playing this game and enjoying playing the other games like Minecraft and Cook Serve Delicious. There will be more of Cook Serve Delicious when I get around to playing it. I've just been a bit busy. And also with Papers, Please. There will be some more Papers, Please. I do apologise. I did record an episode, but I forgot to turn the nudity off. And I realised that the editing job that I would have on my hand is ridiculous. So I'm going to, when I can muster up the enthusiasm to do it, re-record the bits, because you can choose the days where you're on. So I'm going to remember which day I was on and re-record it. But to all of the subscribers, thank you so much for being subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting and getting involved. It's been really, really good. And please continue to do so and share experience. I mean, and I don't consider being on YouTube a job. I mean, as you know, that I've moaned about on other videos about my current employment situation. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for employment, and this is marrying my combination of looking for employment and enjoying video games at the same time, while sharing my experiences and keeping myself in the practice of speaking out loud and being communicative. And I've actually as well just started writing for a games blog, which I will give you more information about soon. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be a video games journalist a little bit. Completely unpaid, but it was great and it was fun. I had to stop because I needed to dedicate more time to education. Now, I'm not in education. I can dedicate more time to it again, and I'm really looking forward to writing some articles and getting some reviews done. And I've already written one article, which will probably get me a lot of hate, but I'm going to enjoy it anyway because I enjoyed writing it. So, yeah. So, firstly, thank you. Thank you to everyone. It does not go unnoticed. It does not go unappreciated. And I'd love you to continue watching and to continue being involved and tell me what to do. Leave a comment. I'm certainly not on anywhere near big enough not to notice comments on G Plus or whatever, and it'd be great. So on to the subject of this episode. I'm going to discuss with you my top 5 love and hates about SimCity. The last video I did was a slight hate video because of the fact that I couldn't place tunnels and because of the terrain system. I've looked up a little bit more since that video, and I've since discovered that it's a major bug that you can't really terraform under the ground. And I've seen lots of people that are doing videos where they've actually put a lowered thing on to try and create massive traffic stuff. It's really weird, but you can't do the tunnels. The tunnels work in the higher ground, but they're not strictly tunnels, not as in the sense that we would appreciate a tunnel as something we can make ourselves that goes underground. So we can't make actual tunnels. So I feel a little bit jibbed about that. And it inspired me to sort of write down a list of 5 things on each side that I both love and hate about this current version of SimCity. And when I say current version, I don't mean current version of the game, I mean current iteration of the game, as in this fairly, well, I say new, it's nearly 10 months old, but this SimCity game. And I thought, because, you know, Peter Capaldi's lapels is a lot prettier than over there in the Peter Davison Series, we may go and visit it, but I'm just going to sort of do a little bit of a slow tour around this town. So I'm going to come straight out with the number 1 and number 2 hate. Mainly because I don't want to start on a positive. I want to end on a positive. So here we go. Hate. Ooh. Hate number 1. Map sizes. Now, I will disclaim myself that I appreciate things first. Okay? I appreciate that this technology is brand new. The Glassbox engine has been built for this. It's first time it's been doing anything. People don't know what it can do, how they can do it in the way it's set up with the game currently. It's a very good, intelligent thing. I was at I believe it was the EA showcase back in 2011, might be 2000, late 2011 or early 2012, March 2012, seems to remind myself here, where we saw SimCity for the first time, and that first introductory video where that guy's playing and making like the roads and doing the little bits. And it blew our minds. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. And the Glassbox engine is fantastic and it's great. And I understand that you can't increase the map sizes in the way that the Glassbox engine is set up. And that the fact that the map sizes are smaller leads to a lot more strategic thinking in what you're having to do and what you're trying to do later on in the game, which I'll mention later. It would be nice to have a bigger map size or more maps on this kind of level that are closer together, that connect more. Imagine if you had another one right here. I mean, and they could be like the same city, but you just have the gap in the middle where this road runs. That would be amazing. That would be really, really cool. Because the problem with the game is it stops after a while. Because the map size is so small, there's only so much you can do. And it kind of stops the game dead in its tracks. And that's one of the things I think people like BOO and a couple of YouTubers have found, and that's why they stopped doing their series, is because they got to a point that they were building and they couldn't build anymore, and they had just to wait on the game and wait on the game just earning money and doing its thing, and it bored them. And it's understandable. That can get boring. But on the face of it, I think the shrinking of the map sizes, or at least the control of the map sizes a bit more, is a good idea for what they were trying to do with the rest of the game. But I think they could do with being a little bit bigger. Mainly just so you can keep the game rolling and keep the idea of how to keep the game rolling. I mean, or have more similar life scenarios, like having to create a larger island, like because I know you could download custom maps on SimCity 4, and you had like New York's area or Britain's area or something like that, or like an area representative of the size of London or something. That kind of like specialist map or something like that would be great. Just to like give us something else, give us something extra that isn't just like a 9x9 square that we have to just plonk our stuff in. Which brings me on to hate number 2. And it is my biggest hate about SimCity, because it's happened since launch, since before launch. It continues to happen on an incredibly regular basis. And I don't mean like one or two here or there. I mean all the time, regular basis. And nothing's happening about it. It is people moaning about the map sizes. You cannot go onto a SimCity forum, a SimCity chat, the Twitch TV streams that they've been doing of SimCity without people going, bigger maps, oh, why don't you do bigger maps? Oh, I'm not getting this game until it does bigger maps. Oh, I'm not doing this game because the bigger maps are all terrible. Shut the hell up. You have been trying to say this for nearly a year. It is not going to change. They have said it's not going to change. The game is incapable of making that change. If you really feel badly and strongly about it, write them an email. I'm very sure that by now, with the thousands of people that have said it, that they're very aware of what people want in this game, and they are trying to do things. Shut the hell up. Okay? Your pointless, terrible trolling is not constructive, needed, necessary, endearing, insightful, any of it. It's awful, and it makes you look like spoilt children. Just stop with the map size hate and enjoy the game for how good it is with what we've got. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Which brings me on to my first bit of love in this. And it's business. Because of the map sizes thing and because of the way everything happens, as you know, your careful control of your industry and the way that the game moves has to be very well planned out. Here we have some high-tech industry. We have some in the middle of a low-tech industry, right in the middle of that. And these are clean factories because we have the university. Because this is now high wealth and we have a university. Oh, that's funny. Let me do this because... Okay, I'm going to add this to my hates now. Sorry, SimCity. You're getting me in the middle. I added this the other day. So I don't know why that's not doing that. Meh. Okay, yeah. So, business and making money You know, it's kind of quite a real life scenario that a government will not make money on the people that live in the country. The government will make money on what they can tax and subsidise from other people. And the only way you're going to tax and subsidise things is if you have an acceptable business. Now, in a city like this, we can just about get away with it because of the rent, of the amount of people that we've got here, because of the higher wealth that we've got here, because of the commercial zones, and because of this little bit of industry that we've had that have supplied these commercial zones. However, as you've noticed, it's always teetered on a bit of an edge. And until we get to the point that we've earned enough money, I could probably donate some money from Peter Capaldi's lapels if I wanted to. There is nothing we can do to expand this town into tourist time. And when we do, that is when our money will come in, because we'll be taking money from tourists. And yes, so that's what this city will become. That will be this city's primary business. And it's having to think about that. And as I said when I first planned this city, I wanted this to be a commuter town. I didn't want this to be a heavy, dirty industry town. And now it's not. And you can see we've cleaned up. We've slowly got rid of it. We've been clean energy the entire time. We very quickly got onto clean sewage and water. And we've made our plans to facilitate the business of tourism. We've made our higher wealth areas. So these things are happening. Now, by contrast, we've gone into Peter Davison's celery completely with the idea of heavy industry and making money. And making money quickly, very much like the Americans did when they went across and found all the oil fields that there were in Texas and stuff like that, and the gold rush. This was our gold rush area, and as you can see, it reflects it. But the business aspect of this is quite rewarding. It's not as rewarding for the people that are in it, although they seem to be doing okay. It's not rewarding for the happiness. It's not particularly rewarding for the land that's around, but it is rewarding financially. As you can see, we lose money on operating this town to keep the people in there, but make money based on the profits on the business. And it's trying to balance that, and the ideas of balancing that. And then where do you go next? Do you build processors? Do you do things? How are you going to incorporate the great works into stuff? There's a lot of strategic business things here. Almost like a little bit like Transport Tycoon. I've mentioned Transport Tycoon before. But Transport Tycoon is a great game of trying to manipulate what you've got around you into how you can turn a profit using transport. Like, have you got a big town? Is this big town going to be good for passengers? Is it going to be good for goods? Are you going to create a train line and stuff like that? Blah, blah, blah. And so I like the business element of it, because one of the things that I've always kind of seen in the old SimCity and SimCity 4 and videos of it is that people just built big things and built amazing looking things, which just made money off of rent, but they didn't add anything else. There wasn't another dynamic factor to worry about other than just operating a city. There wasn't, how am I going to get the money if my city's on fire kind of thing. How am I going to get the money if I haven't invested into drilling for oil and stuff? I find that a lot more exciting, a lot more interesting. So there's my love. Love number one. And at this point, I think it's fair to go on to love number two. And love number two is lighting. I mean, the graphics here may be quite simple from a point of view, but the lighting that is in this game is absolutely stunning. I haven't got the shadows on high, but when the shadows are properly on, you can kind of see them, and they look beautiful. Look at them right there. Look at those shadows. You can see the low sunrise, or the low sunset of the sun, because we're nearly at 7:50 p.m. Let's just speed this up, because I want to see the city light up. Look at that light. The way the light just shimmied across. And it shimmies. It's lovely. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And we'll get closer in. We'll get closer in as this happens, and we'll see that there it goes again. And we'll see these lights begin to turn on in the city. Here they go. Yes. It's a wonderful thing. You see the street lights turn on. Look at that. It's not fully dark yet. I mean, look at this area here. It looks beautiful. It's like a tourist attraction almost. It looks magnificent, and there goes the light again. Obviously, if my Mac was a better spec, or if I had a Pro Mac that I could just upgrade all the time, then you could see how beautiful this was. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at the lighting on this building. It's beautiful. And it kind of gives some scope and makes you feel a little bit proud. Oh, yeah, by the way. See this? No. I feel better if living here, if the mayor would insure the city. Why insure the city? Let's go to fire. What's this? Progressive office. With the progressive office, your city buildings will be covered against catastrophes. You can insure your buildings and get some money back if you're hit by a disaster. Adjust your coverage rate to change how much money you receive. And this is free. And it doesn't cost any money to run. Oh, it's pretty big though, isn't it? Oh, it's very big. Let's put you... Yeah, let's put you here at the end. Lovely. Nice little building design. I like this building design. Which brings me onto love number 3. Buildings. The amount of different buildings and how amazing the buildings look is incredible. From the smallest, most terrible, almost shack here. Look at the song residence. It's just a caravan. Look how great that looks. Look how amazing that is. How neat that is. To the smallest shack. By the way, I put some commercial over here. To the next houses. Look at these. Look at these houses. Proper suburban American houses. I always said this reminds me of the little yellow house that's in Millennium, the TV series with Lance Henriksen. Great TV series. To these crazy, almost 1950s-esque. Look at that. I mean, that looks like the straight out of Happy Days, isn't it? Yeah, all the way to these gargantuan tall skyscrapers. I mean, look at how the lighting and the buildings look and how pretty that is. I mean, that's amazing. I've been to cities with skyscrapers where you just look up and you can just look up and not see the top. I've been to Japan where it is that crazy. And buildings can look jumbled, they can look muddled up, or they can look like engineering works of pure amazing. So just look at that view with the lighting and with the buildings, and look at this kind of brick style apartment building that there is here, and one here, and there's a little house there, and a little park, and I mean the buildings, the actual in-game buildings themselves, like the ones that you place down, apart from the university, don't really look that great. They're not particularly pretty, they're not particularly outstanding. But the random ones, these sort of like residential templates, lovely, gorgeous. Brilliant job, well done. I know some people moan about them, and again, this is the trolls, that you can sort of look in and you can see nothing. Look, if you're looking through that window, there's nothing in there. Well, if you want to spend all of your time putting a fire extinguisher into your RAM to try and like animate every single person in these buildings in their own individual windows and rooms, you, sir, can be my guest. You can be Mod of the Year, and you can probably find a way to hack CERN because that's the only way you're getting that kind of computing power. But yeah, buildings, lovely. I mean, look at the university. I mean, see, when this teaches 298 people, this building is highly impractical for the size it's supposed to represent. But it looks good. Look at these high wealth buildings. I mean, these are now high wealth apartment buildings, but when they were the big mansions like this guy over here, yeah, you see. Oh, it looks great. Gamma Alpha Gamma. That's a That's a frat house. That's a frat house. That's amazing. I love that house. You're you're low density, medium wealth. Why are you medium wealth? This is a high wealth area. Are you medium wealth as well? You know what? I mean, you're just stretching into it, but yeah. But yeah, these buildings are really cool. You're well high wealth. So yeah. Buildings. Gripe. Number 3. This is partly to do possibly with my own system. Maybe that it can't animate it well enough. But I've not really seen it on other people's systems that are really, really good. In this game, the water table is supposed to refill itself. Yes, the water table is supposed to refill itself from the rain that comes down. And you see how good the water table is when you bring up your initial thing that tells you how good stuff is. There's the water table map. So there's a lot more water around where the ocean is. Dry, and then the polluted area. And there's a little bit of pollution there, a little bit of pollution there, of course, but that's it. There's all this water here. But it doesn't really refill like it's supposed to. And that annoys me, partly because I then have to spend a lot of money on changing the water systems around and replanning my city. But more than that, it annoys me because it means that this game is missing one dynamic that I think would make it brilliant. And the only way you notice it is if you have foliage, and that is weather. It does rain sometimes, but it's very rare and hard to see. Now, we're getting colder. We can tell we're getting colder because autumn is coming and these trees are changing colours, which is fantastic. That's brilliant. That's beautiful. But you got rain particles in there. Would it kill you to do them a little bit more? Maybe throw in some snow around December or something like that. How cool would that look? Maybe throw in some gritting wagons randomly or something like that. Just little yellow trucks with flashing lights just go down the middle. It's one of my main gripes of this game because I'm pretty sure the engine could probably quite happily handle it because of the map size of everything they've got. And you don't need to settle snow everywhere. Nobody's asking for you to do that because that would be fairly hard to do. But snow, frost, slightly different coloured ground like you've done with the trees. When it defrosts, water. Beautiful. Yeah? Unless you're in the desolate landscapes that they've just released or something like that. So you see my gripe here. I think the lack of weather would make this game visually even more beautiful. Or the inclusion of weather, sorry. The lack of it just misses that one thing that changes what you're looking at the entire time. Because at the moment, we're just looking at buildings. We're not looking at anything dynamic changing to them other than the light, which is great and it's beautiful to look at. But it would just be nice just to have that other little bit, just that tiny little thing. Tiny little thing. Which brings me on to the next gripe. Partly to do with how your city looks. It's very, very hard to get a very, very pretty city and yet a very, very functional city. Now, there are different ways you can do this. Now, here's a bus station. Admittedly, this is a bigger bus station than the normal bus station. But the streetcar station is around about the same size. That takes up quite a lot of room in this map, yeah? Agreed? Agreed. There's your public transport options. I love the inclusion of water going in the roads, sewage going in the roads, and electricity going through the roads. I would still love some kind of subway line or metro line. Even if it just used the road system, you didn't have to actually properly plan out a subway system. It just used the roads, and you put a little subway building up by a street or something like that. How good would it be? I mean, trying to get rail is cumbersome. It's because you can only put this on a point where it snaps to a railway line. And for putting a railway line through here to try and get into the middle of the city, I can go here and through here, and it would take up so much space. It's not practical in the slightest. And I can't even make a tunnel of it. I can make a bridge, but I cannot make a tunnel. And maybe even the tunnel would help sort that. But, just some sort of subway system. I mean, look, if I do that, can't draw a road through the place buildings, because there's the place building. I can lower, but it then does the same thing as the roads. I can raise it, and again, it also does the same thing as the roads, and not very well. So I honestly think a subway system would be great. We're about to see a sunrise, by the way, and we're going to get another example of this lighting. Where's east? There's east. Let's stay here. I mean, I know it's a slightly different element, and I know it's one that's not there. I gripe about that. It'd be nice. It'd be a great way if you're building a bustling metropolis and you don't want things to be too traffic heavy. It'd be a great little thing to have. And I know they've kind of tackled it a bit in the new add-on pack. With the Cities of Tomorrow pack, that they've got this monorail thing that goes around these tall towers. Fine, that's great. But I'd love just to have the ability to do metro stations, even if it just used the road network like it used it for the sewage and the power, and you just have to think about your road planning a bit more, then fair enough. But yeah, there's hate number 4. So we've done 4 hates out of 5 and 3 loves out of 5. And as I just said about having to do road planning, let's go on to love number 4. Planning. First thing we did is we laid out a grid, and I said, I want to put all this over here, all this dirty industry, because that's where the wind is blowing at the moment. I've since moved a couple of things over here, and you can see the wind is still blowing that way. Slightly dodgy because people might get ill, but I think we can cover it. We've planned this to be our high wealth area. We planned over there in the celery to pillage its land of oil and other things. We've planned this high street to be the commercial area. I love that you actually have to think a bit about planning it. And if you don't, then you then have to think about planning it and maybe waste some time, maybe waste some money, but you live and learn, and that's the point of thing. It's very, very, I wouldn't say similar to any kind of real life scenario at all, but it's enjoyably reminiscent. I mean, I've lived in London for a couple of years. London is ridiculous, and there's a great Doug Stanhope joke about how he never gets Londoners and how really stupid British people are, where London is a ridiculous place with so many little roads to get around. We burnt it down once in the 1600s, and we built it up again. We then got it absolutely pulverised during the Second World War, during the Blitz. We could have clean slated it and built a decent, relatively sensible road network, but no, we just rebuilt it straight away as it was, completely bullish about anything else. And London is sometimes a very crazy wavy network, certainly compared to a US grid system, although it's got character, it's not boring. And I love that you can include character in this game, like your roads can have curves, but you need to work out where you're going to put these curves. And you could do a wavy road if you want to, but you need to space out well enough so that you can allow for things like upgrading. And the trick there that oh, look at this traffic that's here. Oh, that's a busy road, and you're turning right. Oh, have you just come from here? Have you come from there going that way? Why don't you go this way? This way's a quicker road. Sometimes that's silly. But the fact that you do lower roads rather than just the big, heavy, expensive roads and upgrade them. Oh, look at that lighting. And upgrade your way to expanding your city so that you've planned how to expand is so rewarding. It's really, really fun. I love that aspect of the game. I really love it. It's brilliant. So I'm going to come on to my final hate because I'm going to end with a positive. My final hate is partly a hate on some video games in general. Especially Call of Duty and Battlefield are now out. And Call of Duty basically is just a multiplayer game now. The cheapest price I can find it is £40. The cheapest price it's going to be on the next generation consoles when they come out, it's going to be about £70. This version of the game, this is the deluxe version of the game, was £64. The main version of the game was like £42. The prices that are on this game are far too expensive. I know it's cornered because it's EA and it's on Origin and they can charge what they want because it's the only way that you can get this thing, especially for a Mac, because you can't buy this in the physical form, you can only download it. It is far too expensive. I mean, a lot of games are. I mean, the Cities of Tomorrow thing is about 25 quid. I remember expansion packs used to be about £15, £20 at the most. Even from EA. And now, this is ridiculous. I mean, you look at the price of some of the Sim stuff, and you're paying almost full game price for a load of add-on textures, really, and that's it. And they evolve your enjoyment of the game maybe slightly, but it's still far too much money for anybody to pay, regardless of whether you're minted or not. And it's not as if that, there was a lot of griping at the beginning when this game launched because coverage rate is 50%. Fair enough. Coverage begins next month. Premium cost is £5,000 a month. Oh, it just comes out of my general thing. So if I make money, it's fine. So when the game launched, the servers weren't working. They couldn't handle the load of people that were on there. They knew people had pre-ordered it. They knew the amount of people that they had. So therefore, they could have made an estimate of the amount of money they would have earned. What I really, really hate, and I know it's business, and I know it's a dog-eat-dog world, is that direct publishers can't see this and adjust prices accordingly to help the customer, but also to reflect the cost of what they're doing. This game is not a physical game. I have downloaded this game. I have taken out at least £3 to £4 worth of the cost of the game because I am not recuperating the production cost of this game. And I don't mean making a game, I mean physically the boxing, the disc burning and authoring and stuff like that. And you get the same thing on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. FIFA is like nearly £50, £60. That is ludicrous for one of the most popular games out there. And the reach that it has, you could easily make all of that money at £34, £35. I mean, I know you're going to make it at like that anyway, and I know it's a game that people go and buy in the shops. But if you've got a digital distribution model and you are charging somewhere between £25 and £20 more than what the shops are paying for the same thing, you have no justification for that at all. You have cut one of the major costs of producing and shipping this game out of actually buying the game, and the price is £20 higher. It's a big problem with all games, but with SimCity especially, it's a massive problem. This game has now been out for nearly a year. Does it show any signs of going on sale, being reduced in price? Now there's an additional pack on it. No, it doesn't. And that is awful. Fix it. Somebody fix it. You want to grief EA and Maxis about bigger maps and all this stuff? Stop. Turn it around. Grief them about their prices. Okay? Somebody there's rolling up a massive, massive homemade cigar with a $50 bill. No, a $100 bill. Sorry, £50 the biggest note we have here. $100 bill and smoking it. Because he can do that. Because it's nothing to them anymore. Of course, the costs of producing a video game are higher. I understand that. And the fact that you got to pay and the technology costs more and the development and leading time of this needs to be recuperated. Fine. You've probably recuperated that already. At least show us some financials, you know. I don't mind having paid more for it if other people are going to pay less now. If you've spent that money recuperating the cost of developing the game. Not if you're pocketing it. Oh, of course, make a profit. Fine. Business. Do it. But this brings me on to my final love of this game. And which is why I think it is sad that it costs so much. Because this is a great game. This is a brilliant game. Look at these educated offices right there. Looks like the Ghostbusters thing. Actually, it looks like something. If you've ever been on World of Corrales on Minecraft, and I suggest you do just to see it, because some of the things people build on there are incredible. There is a building pretty much exactly like this on there, and it's awesome. But the thing is with this game, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how skilled you are, what age you are, what creativity you have, how much understanding you have, whether you've got loads or little and learn or whatever. Whether you're just interested in just planning or just try and find crazy zany cities or you do something crazy like the guy on YouTube whose name escapes me, who's recreating bits of Tokyo in SimCity. Crazy. Brilliant, but crazy. It's so easy, this game, to pick up and play. Yes, it gets more difficult. Yes, it gets more challenging. But just to pick up and play. Remember the days where you picked up a game and you played it and you enjoyed it? You picked up the controller, you went, right, brought the buttons, jump, shoot, run, up, down, left, right. Good. Let's go. None of this complex key commands. None of this gun spindle wheel. None of this having to manage your inventories. None of your over-encumbredness. None of your have to assign your magic to your hand or dual wield or any of this, or having to adjust your finances or keep your sliders at a certain place or anything like that. This game is so easy to pick up and play, and because of it, it is really rewarding. Even if you don't know what you're doing and you fail, you see why you don't know what you're doing and you begin to learn from it. And it doesn't treat you like a child while doing it. It's very nice about it. It's very cool. It allows you to scrub what you've done, restart again. It allows everything, and it's brilliant at that. And one of the reasons why I love this game and why I'm guessing you guys like it because you watch it and stuff like that is because it is such an easy game to sort of pick up and play or pick up and watch and sort of admire what's going on in it or anything. I mean, I have to say, I loved watching BWO's videos, partly because of his voice and partly because it was what he was doing was interesting, and I couldn't get the game, and I really wanted it because it wasn't out on Mac. But yeah, this game is so easy just to pick up and play and just have a little fun with. And that's one of the reasons I love it, because I can just turn on this game and just chill out and just let things happen. I don't have to worry about monsters coming to kill me in the night. I don't have to worry about sleeping, making a bed, the fact that I haven't got enough diamonds, how stressful Cook Serve Delicious is, or anything like that, or having to be griefed by a 10-year-old shouting abuse at me. This game is so easy to pick up and play and just to admire and just to have fun with it. Sim Gene Corp, and you look like you're a sheep factory. Oh, Gene, oh, cloning. Oh. You see, and there's always something new that keeps you in there, keeps it fun. You know, it's awesome. It's an awesome game. And I love it because of that. So there is my top 5 love and hates of SimCity. This does not include anything that's in the Cities of Tomorrow expansion pack, because I haven't got it, and I kind of refuse to get it at the moment because it's too expensive, and I want to at least build a Great Works here before I bother wasting time doing that. New Progressive Insurance. This was free, so that's nice. There is a lot of free things that do come with it. So I do say about prices, there has been quite a few free expansions, which are nice. Look at that. Oh, wow. Screw that. This is our screenshot. Lovely. Right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to leave the episode here because I think I've been recording for a little while. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. I tell you what I would love for you to do. Have I got the hide the UI? Yeah, I have, so that's fine. I would love for you guys to comment on this, talk to me about this, and tell me what you love and what you hate about it. Please do. Bring up some conversation. If there's one thing that this YouTube comments thing is good, is that I see everything. So make some noise about this. Please leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you enjoyed what you see on this channel as well. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.